This is Dan Wiederer from the Chicago Tribune with another Chicago Bears update. What do you get when you take a bottom five offense and mix in an open competition at quarterback? You get a mess. That's what the folks at Halas Hall are trying to clean up in 2020 as they try to position the Bears to be a contender in the NFC once again. It's no secret that the Bears' struggles on offense in 2019 were pronounced and debilitating. The Bears finished 29th in the league in points scored and total yards. They were second to last in the NFL in yards per play, and only 4 times in 16 games did the offense score more than 20 points. That's not good enough. It's a problem. It's why the Bears are in the predicament they're in, and it's why they will head to training camp with Mitch Trubisky and Nick Foles in an open competition for the starting quarterback job. That's where most of the spotlight will be directed when the Bears get back on the practice field. But here's the good news for a Bears offense that needs to regroup in a hurry. If they can make modest improvements at every single position on the offense, they can make a dramatic leap offensively in the NFL. Think about it. Improvement at quarterback, improvement on the offensive line, improvement in the running game, improvement with the wide receivers, improvement with the tight ends. All of a sudden, you take a bottom five offense and potentially catalyze a leap into the middle tier of the NFL, maybe 15th, maybe 16th, good enough to complement a very strong defense that should have the Bears positioned to be a playoff contender once again. So what does this look like? We'll spend a lot of time talking about the Trubisky versus Foles competition, but today I'm going to go position by position and tell you the person within each position group that may hold the key to unlocking the Bears' offensive success in 2020. Let's start on the offensive line. The Bears went out in January and replaced Harry Hiestand with new offensive line coach Juan Castillo. Castillo is a veteran coach who has a good rapport and familiarity with head coach Matt Nagy. The belief inside Halas Hall is that Castillo can bring the best out of the current linemen that the Bears have assembled, and it will be his duty to do so quick, fast, and in a hurry. The Bears had struggles on the offensive line all throughout 2019, and Castillo has arrived, promising to put together a unit that will be physical, that will focus on the fundamentals, and that will focus on repetition day after day after day to get themselves in the right mindset and the right frame of mind to attack this offense the way it needs to be attacked. Moving to the running game, David Montgomery was decent as a rookie in 2019, but the belief in Lake Forest is that he can have a huge second season in 2020. Montgomery has the wiring to be a true leader of this Bears offense, and he has the skill set to really take a giant leap in his second season in the NFL. Running backs coach Charles London in June talked about Montgomery's willingness to trust the play and how that has to be an improvement that the young running back focuses on heading into his second season. Montgomery has the multidimensional skill set that should pair very well, not only in Matt Nagy's offense, but with new offensive coordinator Bill Lazor, who has overseen a couple of very promising running backs in Lamar Miller and Joe Mixon, who have had very solid seasons under Lazor's watch in previous stops. So what can David Montgomery do in 2020? He can put together a season that really can challenge 1,400 yards, double-digit touchdowns. He can be the catalyst to the running game that the Bears so sorely need to get their offense going. And the belief at Lake Forest is that Montgomery has prepared himself to make a huge leap in 2020. So print that down, write it down, make note of it. Be ready to watch the 2020 season with a belief that David Montgomery will be a far better running back in his second season than he was as a rookie. Now go to the receiving corps. Anthony Miller, remember him? He's the guy that's supposed to be the complement to Allen Robinson. We know what we're going to get out of Allen Robinson in 2020. Robinson is as dependable of a professional, as reliable as a playmaker as there is on the Chicago Bears roster right now. So there's no worries about him. Now he needs help. And Miller has all the talent and potential to give it. Think about the 5-game stretch last year from weeks 11 through weeks 15, where Anthony Miller really came alive late down the stretch for the Bears last season. His numbers in those 5 games, 33 catches, 431 yards, 6 touchdowns. It was not only statistical production, but it came in big moments. Remember, he had a big touchdown against the Cowboys in that signature win in December. He had the 2 big catches in the come-from-behind final drive touchdown win against the Lions on Thanksgiving Day. You take those numbers from that 5-week stretch that I just talked about and extrapolate them out over a 16-game season, and you're talking about a season in which he would have had 100 catches, 1,300 yards, and 6 touchdowns. No one's projecting that for Miller in 2020, but if he can get even close to those production marks and have that consistency on an every week basis, the Bears' offense should be in much better shape. Finally, we moved to tight end. The Bears were criticized widely throughout the league for signing Jimmy Graham to a big contract in free agency. But the thought process at Halas Hall was that Graham brings something that the Bears didn't have at the tight end position last year: durability, dependability. He will be on the field every single time that the Bears suit up. And that's the hope and that's the belief at Halas Hall, that Jimmy Graham can not only be a productive playmaker, but he can be a chess piece for Matt Nagy, who will be in the game plan every week and force opposing defenses and defensive coordinators to lose sleep as they plan for the entirety of the Bears offense. Jimmy Graham is not going to ever have the production that he had in New Orleans when he was an all-world tight end and was putting up Hall of Fame numbers with Drew Brees as his quarterback. But if the Bears can squeeze, say, 45 catches out of him, 600 yards, maybe a half dozen touchdowns out of him in 2020, that will be undoubtedly a success for Jimmy Graham. It will be a success for this Bears offense. And if you combine that with production from Anthony Miller, with production from David Montgomery, with Juan Castillo getting a little bit more of a boost from the offensive line, suddenly this Bears offense doesn't look so bad. Of course, it will all circle back to the quarterback, and whether that's Trubisky or Nick Foles, the Bears aren't going anywhere unless one of those two quarterbacks plays at a winning level on an every week basis in 2020. But at the very least, they're positioned to make a leap from the bottom 5 in the NFL back toward the middle tier. And if that happens, people in Chicago can clearly talk about playoff aspirations, and the Bears can be back in the mix in the NFC to make a playoff run and perhaps be a Super Bowl contender if they can get the right breaks and get themselves in the right footing. Thanks for watching.